Marhaba and welcome to the Habibis, three game developers drinking good Arab tea. Today we have a very special, not PG 13 safe episode. So before we introduce ourselves, hide your kids, hide your people. This is getting nasty, maybe, probably. I'm your host for today, Fawzi Mesmor.
And I'm Rami Ismail.
I'm Anisa Sanusi.
And this is why
This is why.
Before she opens her mouth,
Yeah, we just want to make sure that
we
it's
need
clear.
to make sure that everybody's been tucked in.
Yeah.
Put the kids to bed, close the door, lock it in.
Noise canceling headphones. Make sure no audio bleeds through. This is gonna get real.
Can I curse yet?
You can. You just go straight up.
That's
Okay. Ramadan Mubarak, fuckers!
There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. It is Ramadan. It is Ramadan.
It is Ramadan. We have a very special halal haram episode.
This is very odd timing for this episode, I must say. But hey, all expressions of Ramadan welcome.
Hey, Anisa, describe the scene for people listening.
So we are in very sunny, no, extremely rainy London. We are up in Fawzi's hotel room, which is on what feels like the 50th floor, and we've been climbing upstairs. Bless Rami, who has been
Fasting.
It's good for exercise, to be fair.
I mean, I'm gonna look so fit.
I like a view and it's good for my knees.
I don't think it's good for your knees. I think that stops being true at like 30 years
Yeah,
age.
we're all above 30. This is just
Oh
pain.
no, I got this wrong. That explains a lot. It hurts when I sit down.
It hurts when I exist.
And when I stand up.
Yeah.
And when I do most things.
No, but Anisa was talking we're just watching out of this window, and the amount of rain that's coming through every possible pipe that you can see outside is just disgusting.
Honestly, I complain a lot about Swedish weather, but I love it in comparison to English weather. Because, in Sweden, it's cold and it snows, but it's never windy, in your face rain like that all the time. I could deal with snow, I could do with cold, but when it's rainy, what can you do when it's raining?
Rain is bad.
Well, you don't come here for the rain, do you?
No,
So why are you here?
I come here for beautiful people,
Aw.
for nice people, and for the famous English food.
Yeah.
I love English food.
I gotta say though, I think Fawzi has a specific sensitivity to rain because he used to have this car.
Yes.
I think you talked
Oh
about.
my God! Yes,
on the
you
previous-
just
It's this old trauma.
you just identified my trauma. This is why I look at the rain and I just imagine myself in my car broken down again, and I need to push it outside of the road.
For those of you who weren't here at the start of this podcast, some of the earlier episodes, Fawzi talks about his amazing, magical first car, which was an amazing car, except for if there was even a single drop of rain, it would just stop.
Just stop.
Just stop.
Stop where it is, and then it leaves me stranded.
In the middle of Jordan.
I used to cancel events. You want to come out and have dinner? It's it might be raining tomorrow, so I might not be able to go home.
Oh.
I don't think you should send it to a mechanic, but to a therapist. I think there's deep issues there that you need to unpack.
That's
Yeah.
true.
He just immediately got nervous as soon as the first raindrop started. You could see him start sweating. It wasn't the rain, it was just sweat.
I never tried a therapist. I did try 20,000 mechanics, and none of them knew what's wrong.
Well, all of them knew what was wrong, just none of them were right.
Did any of them ask the car how the car's doing, how they are feeling?
You know what? They just assume.
Exactly. That's the problem.
That's the
That's
problem. They just assume. But in addition to good weather, I'm also here for an event that's happening around London.
Mhm.
But it seems like all of us are here for different events, actually.
Yeah, it's London Games Week, I think.
Yes, it
kind of
is.
like Melbourne International Games Week. And
Uh-huh.
so basically for the entire week, there's just stuff happening.
Just games.
I feel like I'm finding out about a different event happening at a different part of London every day.
It's a lot. I think, and it's not organized in such a way where you would know that there's more. I'm here for WASD and then
Mhm.
something called In the Game.
Okay.
I had no idea that.
I've never heard about In the Game before.
I'm
What's
not
that?
sure what in the game is.
Yeah. And she's the local.
Neither do I. I just got called to do a talk. It's a lot. There's a lot happening at once. It's nice because London, good people, occasionally good food.
I feel like Rami one day is gonna have his surprise birthday party.
Right.
because he's gonna get called to do a talk somewhere, and then he's gonna go in and like surprise,
Yeah.
it's your birthday.
That would be a really good way to throw a surprise party for me, to be honest. It's like, hey, you have to be here on the 30th of October. It's like, okay.
We got your flight, we got
Yeah.
your hotel, and
Yeah.
then you walk into the hangar and it's full of friends
And an airplane.
and an airplane.
Nice.
Yes,
Let's do it.
that'd be a good birthday
Oh,
party.
that would be such a good birthday.
I feel like cake on the wing of the plane.
I already feel like it's my birthday. I
Yeah.
already feel like it's my birthday, and it's not even my birthday.
But it'll be
This is
like a giant cake, and Osama just pops out of it and
Ah.
gives everybody like chocolate and sugar covered hugs.
Oh.
Yeah, we're like,
that sounds awesome.
happy birthday, Rami.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah.
right. That sounds about right. Oh, I miss Osama.
Yeah,
I miss you too, Osama. I'm always here and you're not here.
Yeah, she's our Osama backup.
yeah, that's true. It's because you and I we meet in like a European event, and
Right.
Anisa is usually here.
At European events.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't make it to GDC, which also has happened by now.
You and I didn't make it to GDC.
Both of us didn't make it.
I didn't
All
make
three
it.
of us,
Yeah,
actually.
I know.
Wow.
We sent Osama on his own.
Osama was our
I hope he's
messenger,
okay.
our harbinger, just going ahead to let them know about the Habibis. Yeah, no. So none of us can really talk about GDC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really.
It was a thing that happened and we were not there.
I know that Osama did an amazing talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Osama spoke.
Osama
It was great.
spoke. He had a couple of talks at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you seem busy.
He's always busy.
That's
That's
true.
true.
It's
That's
like you
true.
gotta have like an Arab overachiever.
Right.
Yeah. You got like, how can I pile more stuff on me? Oh, and he did that talk about burnout.
Right.
Ah.
Yay. Do not overcommit, he says in his sixth talk.
Slide number 1.
Yeah.
Don't do what I do.
Yeah.
You're just describing yourselves at this
Right.
point.
At this point,
Exactly. It's not 3 Habibis, it's just the one person.
Yeah.
yeah, three identical overachievers.
3 different accents. One of them just had the high
Well, no,
pitch.
four overachievers.
4 Habibis.
I try, you know.
Yeah.
You're not trying. You're like, dude, that's not a try. If that's a try, Anisa has so many things going on at every given moment of her life that I'm shocked that she's like standing.
I can't keep up sometimes.
Well,
Did you ever talk about the stuff that you're doing here on the podcast? I don't think you have, actually.
I don't think so. I can't remember, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like,
the things you're doing, or what you said on the podcast?
both.
Oh, there.
The things you said on the podcast is better for everyone if we forgot. But so, some of these things, like, left some listeners in some trouble.
I mean, to be fair, you do cut out some of the worst things, so.
Not this time. I don't have time. So it's just literally going. Whatever we're saying right now is going to go live
Wow.
on the podcast.
I'm going to have to live with it.
So whatever shit we say is going to be there.
No, but I think you've never talked to people about limit break. Yeah, tell us a little bit on limit break, actually.
Yeah. So I guess this year is quite special for me because some of you might not know, but I run a nonprofit called Limit Break Mentorship. And it's a mentorship program where we help underrepresented people in the games industry to get matched with those with experience. And this could be people who are already in the industry or those who are wanting to get into the industry. And this is our 5th year. And last year on our 4th year was also our biggest year. We had like 1,100 people.
Wow.
Yeah, it keeps getting bigger every year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How do you keep up? 1,000 people. That's a lot of people.
It is, yeah. It's really exciting because it's mostly like word of mouth. Like we don't have a huge like ad campaign or anything. We basically just tell people and other people tell people, and a lot of the legwork is from past mentors and mentees. Most of them say like, oh, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Limit Break, or like we hired someone new through Limit Break, things like that. And
Nice.
yeah, it just spreads by itself, and I am just trying to figure out how to like manage it. But also, because of how big we got, like we have way more people who are, who's benefit from the program and really want to give back.
Mm-hmm.
So our volunteers, our team of volunteers is the biggest this year as well. And oh my gosh, they're the fucking best. Like they are like a well-oiled machine. They just know, when you put a room full of like overachievers
Right.
and then just give them a
Familiar?
brief. Yeah. And then they just go, like they go ham. Like, can I say ham? It's Ramadan.
That's stuff for a lot.
You could say half, but
Yeah.
They go lamb.
Subhanallah.
It's haram to eat, but I'm pretty sure you can still talk about it. Like, if you want to tell people that it's haram, you need to mention it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't eat that. I can't say what it
At this
is.
point, it's like doing a good segue. When you say ham, we're just going to say stuff for a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. Just in case.
So yeah.
That's cool. How many years now again?
This is our 5th year, half a
Fifth
decade.
year.
Wow.
Half a decade.
I remember when this was the thing you were starting.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think when I got to know you, you just started this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was when I was still like, it was just literally like a single Google Doc file, like of
Yeah.
what the structure was going to be like. And I have no fucking clue of how I was supposed to like do this. But, the more you talk to people, the more you reach out. And then that's when you realize if somebody resonates with your idea, they are more than willing to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think my fear was that I didn't have anything to offer. Like, I can't pay you. I don't know how to repay you, in monetary or service. I have no idea. But they're like, no, like we want this to happen. So we're gonna give you our efforts and time and things like that. And
That's so cool.
And it's also because it's not for you. They're not helping you. They're helping you help others.
Yeah.
I think that's so much like for so many people that's so much easier to sort of like commit to because it's not that they don't want to help. It's that they don't know how to help, and you're giving them the way to do it.
Yeah.
Which somebody creating the structure is so valuable.
That's what a lot of people want to do, really.
Yeah.
Like everybody was like, "Do you want to help out? Do you want to talk to a student? Do you want to, mentor somebody coming in?" Everybody like, "Yeah, what? How can I do it?
Yeah.
Like, how can I do stuff like that?"
Yeah, I think running Limit Break has made me realize like everyone's really busy, all the time. But the will to help is there. As long as you give the structure, just tell them how do I show up, where do I do it, who do I talk to. If you get all that ready, they show up and they do it. And that's kind of just how we've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. Here's to 5 years more.
Yeah, here's to a decade of it.
Yeah. But that's not like the only achievement Anisa has had.
No, Anisa's going hard this week. She's going ham stuff.
All right. So we are like, at least Anisa and I are here she's here perpetually. I'm just visiting.
I am based in London, yes.
Based in the UK. Now, there were the BAFTAs happened last night.
I heard about that.
Yeah, the BAFTAs happened last night.
I missed that because I was here for once. And I was like, there's probably nothing else happening. That was a mistake.
That was super, super cool. For me, like any celebration of video games is always fun to see. But also, it's like the room had so much talent under one roof. It was kind of wild.
Gosh, yeah. The BAFTAs is essentially our version of the Oscars. Like everyone gets really, really excited for it. We've been planning our outfits like months in advance, and well, I have. So.
And here I show up. They're happening? Oh. Can I get a ticket? No? Oh, you're full. Okay.
It was one of the rare occasions I had to wear a suit.
Yeah.
And I got a bow tie in. I even Googled how to really properly put a bow tie on.
I remember when I was there for the first time, they said, what was it? What is the dress code? It's like
black tie.
Black tie. And I was like, what
is that?
What does that mean? I had no idea. I was like 3 years into the games industry. I hadn't worn a suit since like my uncle's wedding, like 15 years earlier or something. So. I had no idea.
Some people do buy suits specifically for the BAFTAs just because they've never owned one. And I think that's good. Like, we need to give nerds the chance to dress up once in a while.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Everybody looked great yesterday. Oh, yeah. It was like, unlike the usual game dev event in which like people are like in hoodies and game dev t-shirts and sneakers.
I think BAFTA is one of the only things in games that really like affords it that way, because BAFTA is also such an old institute, right? It's not a games thing. It is this huge media institute in the UK that represents film and music and all sorts of things, but also has included games for like a decade at this point, like longer even, which is wild. Like that doesn't have, like there's no equivalent to it anywhere else. And we can try in games like, Jeff Keighley can say like, put on a suit. Yeah. You might, the DICE Awards might say, put on a suit, you might, but the BAFTAs, you just don't show up.
Yeah.
Not looking your best.
You have to.
You have to.
Yes. You're not paying the place the respect. Almost. And it kind of is like, it's like the Game Awards are cool and all, and it's another moment that everybody gets together, but it's still like, it's this thing where there's trailers, there's sponsors, it's a commercial event as well as it's a recognition event. And BAFTA seems to be a lot more focused on the awards themselves.
Yeah, speaking of like one of the many things that I do, I'm actually officially a BAFTA Games Committee member this year. So what that means is that to be a part of the BAFTA, you have to be a member, right? So it is a paid membership. And once you've been in BAFTA for a while, we do these things where you have to kind of vote for people within the membership to be a part of a committee that becomes like the mediator between the members and the BAFTA board. And, that's how we talk about like what kind of programs we want to see, what we want to see BAFTA do more of and things like that. And I've been voted to be in the committee for
That's
this
amazing.
year.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I can say like just being able to see behind closed doors. I can't talk too much about it, but like BAFTA really genuinely do care about how we celebrate video games. You know,
That's cool.
there's a very fine balance between being too much advertising and how do we like showcase not just the video games but the developers, the streamers, the audience, young people who want to get into it. There's so many like facets to BAFTA. Like you can't. It's not the one thing.
Right.
But the BAFTA Game Awards is the thing,
Right.
you know, that everybody looks forward to like in the year. So it is like the big event.
I can't help but just be very jealous of BAFTA because they have so many amazing programs as well.
Yeah.
Like they've got like programs for like younger developers joining the industry. They support the industry in like various ways throughout the year, not just for the awards, not just for it's like an actual institute, an actual media institute doing that. When in the Netherlands we get like, do you want a corner at like the cinema festival? And it's like there's no real intent to help games as much as just like try to make sure that the other things don't fall behind. So we just kind of get like, you also be there. Well, it feels with BAFTA is like actually sort of like a vertical, like it's like a full vertical in the organization where it's like, okay, what does games mean in the context? And that's just, I don't know, I'm just so incredibly jealous.
And you, as part of your committee responsibilities, you also do the jury stuff.
Yes, so I chair some of the juries for our awards, and this year I chaired 2 juries for the first time. And
she starts with not just one, but two.
She's overachiever. Come on,
overachiever.
Yes, and it is So judging for the BAFTAs, I've been doing that for a few years now. But chairing it is a whole different experience because as a chair, I don't give my own opinion. I'm the neutral party, so I make sure that everybody has a say, like all of the people, the jurors in the jury. But I also have a say of who I get to pick on those juries. And one of the things I really wanted to make sure, at least for this year that I'm on the board, is that I want to have a jury that is as diverse as possible. And I don't mean that just in terms of like gender diversity, but I wanted geographical diversity as well. So I'm so proud to say that my jury was like from all over the world. I mean, it was like scheduling hell to try to get to get someone from. We had someone from Australia, we had someone in Japan, we had someone in South Africa, and the different time zones of America, Canada, of course UK, and I was in Malaysia at the time.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
what a nightmare.
But we made it work, and it was one of the best juries that I've ever been in. And the results for it, the results of the BAFTA Awards just kind of speaks for itself. I think everyone's quite happy with it.
I have to admit I missed it, so I don't know who won what. And I'd like just give me what's the cliff notes?
We can fill you in with some of these things.
So Fawzi, why are you here at the BAFTAs?
Well, one of the juries that Anisa was talking about, I was actually taking part of.
Nice.
And we were in the Games Beyond Entertainment category.
Which is my favorite category.
Oh my god, that category is so good because any game that wins in that thing, we all win. So I'm happy for like whatever the result is, they're all fantastic games.
Yeah, speaking of like diversity, like I think Games Beyond Entertainment is one of the few categories that you just have like some huge AAA big budget games to like, I want to say call it indie AA to like the smallest mobile game. And they're all being judged in the same one category because, it's about how games can touch a person beyond just entertainment, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, like, I was playing these games for the category. A lot of them I've played when they came out. Some of them I didn't. And then we have a Habibis recording, and they're like, what games have you been playing? And then I'm talking about these games as well.
Yeah.
So it was very easy for me when, like, the jury discussion happened. I'd be like, I can just play back what I was just saying.
Right.
Because I've been talking about these games. I loved every single one of them. Endling ended up winning.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That part. Remember we spoke about that on the podcast before.
Yeah. So usually we deliberate on each game for quite some time, but Endling was the most like no notes, great game kind of conversation that we had. Yeah, it's just like everyone just like flat out. People were crying, like talking about the story and all that. I said like I couldn't. I had to turn it off because I was like my heart was breaking because like I couldn't save like one of. I'm sorry, PTSD from losing my cubs. but interesting enough, both me and Fawzi, we both got nominated.
Yeah, we were nominated.
Yeah.
So I had no idea, because all the nominations come out on the same day. So I was like, I'm on the jury for this other category, and then when the so I'm checking to see how the nominations are coming out for the categories that we're on.
You were judging.
And then I saw that we, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope got nominated for Best Family Games. I'm like, what? So now I'm going for 2 reasons.
Right.
Yeah, and my game that I worked on, Rollodrome, was nominated in Best British Game.
Wow.
Yeah, again, because we take these things so seriously. Like, I had no idea that we were even in the long list.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So we make sure there's no conflict of interest.
Yeah, that's important. It's super important with these things.
Because every time I tell people, I'm on a committee, I say, oh, I'm nominated. Like, And I was like, no. Like, we take that seriously. So I had no idea until they announced it.
And that's usually the most difficult thing for me to be in a jury, and I think for all of you guys, is because it's hard for us to be in a category with games that we don't know anyone on the teams.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked out, but in that particular category, it did. But in other ones, that would have been
I mean, in a lot of juries I'm on where that is a thing, like, usually I'll either have conflict of interest with all the games, which sort of evens it out, or I just, you don't vote for specific games, and then your vote counts as neutral. Yeah.
So for us, for BAFTA, we take it so seriously that if there is a conflict, or even if you don't even play one game out of the entire catalog, you can't participate at all.
Right.
Like, you're kicked out. That's how serious they take it.
I mean, that's also a good way of doing it. I think for a lot of people in games, that gets very hard very quickly, because I mean, Fawzi and I and you too, we know developers around the entire planet, and for a global award, that might be for a British award. It sounds even harder because it's quite an insular. It's an insular community here.
Yeah, but it's good because that means you try to get away from nepotism as much as possible.
Being very serious about that as well.
Hence the diversity of jurors being very important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So people from outside of the UK, they wouldn't be having that connections.
I was really happy to hear that there was such a focus on geographic diversity. I mean, obviously, it's like a flag that I like waving, but hearing things like that just happening is really exciting. Well, good work.
Thank you.
But you were also nominated.
I was, yes, for Rollodrome, and in Best British Game. And I swear, when we went to it, I had zero confidence that we were going to win. So interestingly, the company that I was with, that made Rollodrome, is called Roll7. They also have a second game called Ollie Ollie World.
Yes.
And both of our games were nominated in the same category.
That's true. Right. I like both of these games.
They're both good games.
Really good games.
So we had double the chances of winning something.
Yes.
But at the same time, because of how strong all the other games were in our category, we were just you know what? We're just happy to be here.
What were the other games?
What is it? Vampire Survivor?
Vampire, yeah.
Ooh.
Vampire Survivors? Yes.
Survivors.
So yeah. And then we had, I don't know, there's a few other games.
Yeah, there were other games. Basically, Vampire Survivors was there. That's like me in 2013 looking at my category and going, Minecraft is in there. That's going to win, right?
Yeah. I know, Citizen Sleeper was in there as well.
Oh,
yes. Loads of really, really strong games. And
I think Fawzi's looking it up.
Looking it up.
Fawzi's looking it up.
Yeah.
This is nice about recording in person is we can get these cues and figure that out.
Exactly.
I don't think we could have dragged that conversation long enough for Fawzi to find it.
But I found it. It's Citizen Sleeper, Ollie Ollie World, Total War, Warhammer 3.
There was a new Total War game?
Yeah. 2 Point Campus, and Vampire Survivors.
Survivors.
It's multiple survivors.
There's more.
I think we knew for a long time that Vampire Survivors was one of the heavy hitters of the year. So we're we're just happy to be nominated. That kind of thing.
I mean, technically, you guys ended up winning that category.
We did!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Anisa's having a week, I'm telling you.
So, again, backstory, because I have recently left Roll7, I was there as part of the BAFTA committee. But, when I met up with the team, I was like, hey, on the 0.5% chance that Rollodrome might win, is it okay if I go up with you? And we're like, yeah, sure. So okay, cool. So it happens. They're talking about the nominees, and the nominees come up, and then they were like, okay, and the winner is Rollodrome. And I was just sat back in my seat. I was like, what? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I immediately sprinted because I was at the back of the fucking auditorium. I sprinted to the front, and my team, they haven't got up yet. They were still processing that they won.
So you got there first.
Yeah, and I was like, guys, we won! Get the fuck up! Let's go to the stage.
Amazing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
This is the most Anisa thing. I'm also just watching the spectrogram of the recording, and you can literally see when Anisa speaks. It's amazing.
Yes, and I got up, and then obviously, Dre, our lead designer, he was the one giving the speech, and it was
what a beautiful speech.
It was a heartfelt speech,
Aww.
because our creative director, Paul Rabbit. So Paul Rabbit is the guy who started the concept of Rollerdrome, and it was one of those viral gifs that went viral on Twitter, right? Yeah. And then we got the funding to create the game. So the Rollerdrome team was actually put together specifically for Rollerdrome.
Right.
So it wasn't an existing theme or anything. It's because of these gifts that I saw myself a long time ago.
Right.
And Paul, such a fucking baller. Paul's just like, no, I don't want to go to the BAFTAs. I don't give a shit.
That sounds about right. That actually sounds incredibly on brand.
Exactly. So we gave him a shout out, and our lead artist, Antoine, he couldn't join because he's currently very, very ill. So we had a very heartfelt shout out to him as well. So it was very it was high emotions everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like the dude Andreas is like on stage, kind of choking up, realizing the moment, my entire career is leading up to this.
They were a mess backstage. It was hilarious, and so obviously so I've got my family watching the BAFTAs at home as well. And later on, my mother texted me a screenshot of my face, and you know what she said? She goes like, "Hi, sweetie, is that you, or is that someone who looks like you?"
That's hysterical.
It's also, can you just imagine your family watching and you're like running to the stage before the rest of the entire dude going, "Get over here, you fucker!"
Having the best day, and the biggest dunk is coming out from your mom.
She keeps me humble.
Yeah, she does. She does. It's the way. It's the way of our people.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you. That was
on all of the things, on this entire Anisa update, limit break, almost like half a decade.
Lots of stuff happening.
You guys don't come to London very often.
You see the weather, it's not that encouraging.
I mean, for me,
my car breaks down on the way.
The focus of my work is just very much in emergent places. So London is not really a place that doesn't need much help.
No, I'm here. I got this place covered.
Yeah, we have Batgirl here. She's got it taken care of.
But most places don't have the BAFTAs, and that's the place I end up going to. So London is more of a or the UK in general is more of a there's a nice event where I can catch up with people. So I'm usually here twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You get Develop Brighton.
Develop Brighton, and the BAFTAs are two big ones.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about I felt so bad. I just emailed them the day before. I'm like, can I still come? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay.
I mean, when I heard you came down, I was like, oh, he's here for the BAFTAs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's not what I thought. But I was hoping they could still make it. When we were leaving, I was like, okay, let's put on let's bring a suit and a dress just in case. But right before I got in the car, it was like, nope. I'm like, oh yeah.
You can still wear the suit, it's London.
Yes.
People wouldn't
Have
bat
you
an
seen the
eye.
weather? Have you seen the weather? Also, I don't know, wearing a suit in London could go poorly.
I tell you what, yesterday I got so much more respect than I usually do.
Right.
Just walking around in a bow tie and a suit. And I'm thinking, what if I had 8 of those and this is all I'm wearing? Forever. I'm always the guy in the suit. Walk into Starbucks and they'd be like, "Here's your free coffee, sir."
Yeah.
People are calling me sir a lot.
Yeah.
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 But that's the London thing.
No, that's the bow tie.
That's the bow
just
tie.
the bow tie. Everybody turns British when you wear a bow tie.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Doesn't matter where you go.
I was cosplaying a rich bitch with this big fur coat and diamond
I
necklace.
did not see your outfit.
Yeah.
There must be a photo of
She
someone.
had a lot of good bling happening.
But yeah, I had to pick up my guests from the hotel that I set them up at. Oh my god, the more I talk, the more I feel like I was this rich bitch doing things for people. But no. So
with your charity and your award and your fake fur outfit and picking up your guest at the hotel.
I mean,
nailing it.
It's quite important for me to want to make sure that my volunteers feel like they they're appreciated. So I tend to try and bring some of my Limit Break committee members to the BAFTAs, and this year I brought two people with me who has never been to the BAFTAs ever.
Aww.
Yeah, and they were just excited, and I'm just happy to give them the experience.
That's super.
Yeah,
amazing.
so I have to pick them up. I have to pick them at the hotel that I set them up in, and we were all kind of just hanging in the lobby. And the hotel concierge was like, "Sorry, excuse me, I have to say, all of you look fabulous. And we're like, oh, thank you, darling. Thank you.
Amazing.
That is so funny. Yesterday, one of the funniest things is that, like, as I talked to a lot of people, they were like, I was like, you're doing the thing with Rami and the guy with the big smiley face on Twitter. That was one of the comments I had. And then there was this other one who was like, do you know Rami and Osama, they have this podcast called the Habibis. It sounds like you should be on it. And I'm like, I'm the third guy.
Amazing.
I had a bunch of times in which like, I'm the third guy.
I have to say, we've never gotten as much response on any episode as the last one, because your Habibi and Noor impression has apparently just gone viral.
It's my moment in the spotlight.
It is wild.
It's my Habibi idol moment.
We're not gonna top that intro for years.
I don't know, like we had the Ramadan Kareem bitches.
It's pretty good.
It's up there.
Subhanallah and astaghfirullah at the same time. Like it's an Anisa episode.
It is an Anisa episode.
Fuck yeah. Loosen up a bit.
We ended up losing to Kirby.
I mean,
in my category,
Kirby was
really good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's the first time in 30 years that Kirby swallows a car.
That's true.
Yeah.
How can you top that?
That's true.
You can't top
The
that.
car was really sad because it was raining, so Kirby's
Kirby's
like, I got you, babe.
It's true. I should have just gotten a Kirby. That would have solved the problem.
Now, I'm just imagining you just like pulling a Kirby on the car, just like how you would look. So like the little beard and the glasses, but just like car-shaped Fawzi. I'm just
I want to make concept art about that. a car with like a little mustache.
Yeah, with your glasses and like your smile and the beard, and like for the rest you look like her. If anybody's listening and is a good artist, like please just like send it over.
And like I think like we were going through that category, and then it's like Star Wars, Disney, then it's like Nintendo, Ninja Turtles, Kirby. I was like, shit, man.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done. Let's back up.
It's a difficult one.
That's a difficult one, but I mean, Kirby. I would have voted for Kirby.
I mean, like I've not had a lot of time with your game because my Switch for some reason just doesn't. I forget it every time I travel now.
Oh no!
So
you have a Zelda coming out. What
I know.
Are you doing?
I'm horrified, but like I've started and it's really good.
It's
cool. Good.
No, I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah, I can't wait to actually properly play it.
Yeah.
I played like 3/4 of Kirby, and that was. I think it's the jump they made from like the traditional Kirby formula to this.
It was the first 3D one.
They executed so well.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's the first 3D one, so it's like a big departure.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of things that never happened in the series before. So it was on my Game of the Year list. So like
I think mine too, right?
What's that?
I think
and yours as well.
Yeah.
You and I had that in common when we had that. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, the Zelda looks great, by the way. Have you
Did
seen
you
the
see
latest
the
update? Oh my god!
Like after there's a new power called Fuse, in which like you basically connect a lot of things together, so you can get a stick and fuse it with a rock, and then you have a rock on the stick. And I'm looking at this and I go like, what happens if I get the Master Sword and I just fuse it with some chicken and vegetables?
Right.
Will I make a shish kebab?
a master
shish kebab. It's like you kill enemies and heal yourself, basically.
That sounds pretty good to me. No, I mean, I love what they're doing. Like, what a evolution.
Like I think, like in the first Breath of the Wild, there's these little blowfish, and like I forget, you fill them with air, and they expel air and they make things float. And there were people that were just getting a bunch of them and attaching them to like logs and stuff like that, and creating like a flying,
like a hot air balloon.
Yeah. And I reckon that the dev team must have either found that during development, or somebody showed like after the game came out, they looked at it like, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, let's do that.
How about we put islands in the sky and we have people fly them with like blowfish boats?
Yeah, it looks very good. I'm very excited for that game. I wasn't.
Yeah.
But then I watched this and I was like,
it's hard not to be excited for a Zelda game. Also, they've been working on this for 6 years.
Right.
Like, Breath of the Wild came out in 2017.
What?
Right?
What?
Yeah.
I'll be honest though, normally when a game takes 6 years, I'm not more excited for it. I'm less excited for it.
Zelda games, that's their cycle.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword was 2011.
Yep.
then
Oh
Breath
my
of the
gosh.
Wild is
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
So, like whenever a new Zelda is coming out.
Whoa.
So, like, Twilight Princess was 2007.
Mhm.
So there was like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
4
know.
years
I-
to like, Skyward Sword. So they have long cycles.
Yeah. Until this presentation of Tears of the Kingdom, I was just like, okay, this is gonna be just like Breath of the Wild, like kind of that, but more
Yeah.
like a little floaty. I watched this and I'm like, oh, okay, they're just going hardcore on this. Like they're not just coasting.
No, they never coast, man. Like, I think when you think about like Zelda sequels, like
Mhm.
direct sequels, the last one was Majora's Mask.
Right.
Following up on Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or like Spirit Tracks following up on Phantom Hourglass.
Mm.
Like Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time.
Huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
You look at like screenshots, you'd be like, oh, it's the same engine. Or they're gonna make a quick Ocarina, and then you play Majora's Mask. Like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. So
Even
good.
since,
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody's made a something even close to like how weird and interesting Majora's Mask
It was
was.
such a good game.
Yeah, and like in this game, they're like, casually, let's fly up to the heavens, and now there's like, this Skyward Sword like world in which you kind of need to figure out how to explore, and that's the
Right.
part I really find interesting.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild, like you needed to figure out how to explore on the ground, so you go like, oh, there's this hill, how can I climb?
Yeah.
Or there's this dragon, how can I get to this dragon
Right.
and get something off of it? Now, if you manage to find yourself in a floating sky island, you're gonna look around of other floating islands, go like, how do I get there?
Yeah.
How can I fly even more?
Right.
And I'm like, these fuckers, they did it again.
Yeah.
So glad it's in these episodes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
Straight up. Say
Yeah.
So
These
good.
fuckers.
But for me, like, I've nothing but admiration for like the Zelda team. They've always been incredible, and like the Breath of the Wild comes out completely, not only nailing open world for Nintendo in their first
Redefining
try,
it, honestly.
Yeah.
redefining it from the first go.
Yeah.
I expect nothing less like from a
I-
sequel to that.
I was not. I just didn't. I didn't have that feeling. And then after this, I'm like, I'm ready. Like I
Yeah.
was. I think the only Nintendo thing I was really excited for was the Advance Wars because I was
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge Advance Wars fan.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But now seeing this, I'm like, yeah, no, I need to start bringing my Switch to more things.
Yeah.
I exclusively play on my Switch.
Oh.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm on like second, third run of like Fire Emblem
Nice.
Engage. Yeah.
I started on that and I bounced off. Should I not bounce off?
If you ignore the story.
Oh boy.
In a Fire Emblem game.
Like, yeah. Like, not gonna lie, like in comparison to Three Houses had a much better writing. You
Yeah.
know, like Twitter is all about this, where they're just shitting on it, and it's fucking hilarious, to be fair. But the systems, like, is the most like from a UX perspective, one of the most smoothest playing games that Fire Emblem has ever
Right.
put out.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give it another go.
Wow.
And then Advance Wars, and then Zelda.
I'm playing a lot of Vampire Survivors, really.
It won
They
yesterday.
won 2 awards.
They
So
won
they
2
won
awards.
they won Best Design and Best Game.
They won Game of the
That's
Year.
Game that's well deserved.
They won
Yeah.
Game of the So like they won Game of the Year over Elden Ring and
Mhm.
God of War and games like that. So they won over Game of the Year category. You won Best British Game.
We won Best British Game. So Vampire Survivors were in our category, and we were only in this category. So by logic,
By logic,
Rollerdrum is better than Vampire Survivors, and so therefore we are.
you are better
Game
than
of the
God-
Year.
Yes, you are better than God of War, Elden Ring.
I'm just not gonna comment and just leave this there. That sounds good.
That's the logic.
This is the most British explanation I've
Yes.
ever heard of anything.
Sorry, like
Okay.
people are saying how Vampire Survivors is like a big upset for Best Game, but the
Yeah.
fact that we won over them in Best British Game is a bigger upset.
Right.
Or maybe we're just more British. I don't know.
maybe.
It makes you wonder what the classification was like. What was like the jury prompt for Best British Game?
Yeah.
Like, is this the game that is the most British in sensibility?
What I like about Vampire Survivors winning is that it is pure gameplay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like saying that, the graphics are cool, technology advancements, all of that stuff, but ultimately a game is about gameplay.
Yeah.
And people can't stop playing this game. There's purity in how this game works.
I think the way they balance the action and sort of like this Zen like presence in the game is just
Yeah.
it's just really like it. That is hard.
Yeah.
It looks so easy, right? Just put a lot of stuff on screen
Yeah.
and then go through it. But like, nope, that is like getting that balance right and to get that to feel like a flow
Yeah.
where you can just get lost in it for so long.
Yeah.
That's hard design.
It is, man. But I think so God of War ended up winning quite a bit. So
They won 5.
They won 5. They won Best Animation.
That's fair.
They won Best Audio Achievement.
Pretty fair.
They won EE Game of the Year.
So that's the only category where the public votes for the
public
game.
votes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what else did they win? They ended up winning Best Music.
And I think both performers, like lead performers and supporting
Christopher
performer.
Judge ended up winning, and Leia Hayes ended up winning.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah, both amazing people. I was super happy. There's fellow Dutchman. Horizon Forbidden West ended up winning Best Technical Achievement.
Incredible.
Which, I was hanging out with those guys at the after party, and I was telling them, for the game to look this good and to run this well, you guys are doing some kind of voodoo magic.
Have you seen that tweet that went viral from Jan Bart van Beek about how the water, like the shore water shader works in that game?
Yeah.
Like, they were doing some... That's some magic. That's not technology. That has nothing to do with technology.
Yeah, it is some kind of magic that these guys putting in there. But those guys are masters of the craft.
Guerrillas.
I'm very happy that they won at least one because they were nominated for way more.
They have this curse with the Horizon series where last time they released a Horizon
up against
game,
Zelda.
It was up against Zelda, and then this year, and it was like the launch of Zelda was like 4 days after Horizon, and then this time they launched Horizon Forbidden West, and then 5 days later, Elden Ring
comes out.
And they were just like, we're done. We give up.
I ended up playing that game way after the fact because it came out, Elden Ring came out. I had to put it on pause and just dedicated my life to Elden Ring.
Right. Yeah, I never ended up finishing Horizon Forbidden West. I'll go back one day, but it's not. Yeah. Just there's so much happening at the moment.
Elden Ring ended up winning Best Multiplayer.
Yes. That's an interesting one.
Interesting category, right?
You know what? Okay.
Yes, and Best Original IP, basically. Best Original Property.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Best Evolving Game is Final Fantasy XIV.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's surprise anyone.
It's every year it's a toss-up between Destiny and Final Fantasy, and at this point they're just kicking the ball back and forth, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. One of your favorite games, Rami, ended up winning Best Debut, which is Tunic.
Oh, lovely.
And Artistic Achievement.
And Best Artistic Achievement.
Very deserved. Yeah. Very deserved. Tunic was beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And it's going up against Elden Ring, God of War, Pentiment.
Pentiment would have I mean the others are. I think Elden Ring could have stood a chance because
Elden Ring had a very interesting
the visual direction
development
is phenomenal, but also it's kind of an evolution of their existing stuff. While Tunic just felt fresh.
Yes, yes, and I think that's all the categories really. We've gone through all of them. The game design and game of the year were Vampires.
Yeah. You know what? Congratulations to that team.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Citizen Sleeper and Stray.
Yeah.
These two games were also nominated throughout across multiple different categories, but they didn't sweep any of them. But also, I think to be able to be nominated in more than just one category, that shows that it is quite a strong game.
Right.
Yeah, amazing game.
I was nominated once for Ridiculous Fishing, and I still have that poster at home. The nomination, that. Just the BAFTAs are such an institute. Just being part of it at all, whether you're being a judge or whether you're nominated or winning, all of it is incredible.
Yeah, it was a hell of an evening. And the last thing I forgot to mention as narrative, best narrative was also God of War.
God of War.
So I ended up getting 6. So yeah, big wins for the God of War.
Congratulations to all
but
the
I feel
winners.
a lot of people got it was a good spread in the awards.
And who Shuei Yoshida won?
And the fellowship, the BAFTA fellowship.
He had the standing ovation.
Of course.
Yeah, standing Yoshida, recognized by everybody.
Honestly, the main reason I was sad I couldn't make it is when I heard that Shu was going to get it, because I love that man.
It might be still in town, so hopefully you can catch up with him.
I'll send him a message.
Honestly, he's like the guardian angel of video games. Everything he touches just becomes the biggest thing.
And he's a huge gamer himself.
He's
you can tell, from the community to the community kind of guy.
Yeah.
I believe it's time for me to put a doily on this.
Let's put a doily on it.
Because I'm going to need to kick you guys out and resume normal activities. This has been another episode of the Habibis. Join us next week. Maybe,
inshallah. Probably not, to be very frank. We'll see.
like Ramadan has been quite hectic, so we have a very irregular programming, and I guess it's okay that way.
Okay.
Let's not stress. We record the episodes when we feel it.
We do say inshallah, and we mean it.
We do say inshallah as part of the contract,
Right.
and by that it's
The
never
binding
binding. Before we sign out, Anisa, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Studio Anisa or Instagram or TikTok or Limit Break at limitbreak.co.uk.
Wow, that was such a radio voice out
Yeah,
of nowhere.
right, yeah.
What just
Yeah.
happened?
It's almost like we should have her on the podcast every
Yeah.
now and then.
I don't just swear, you guys. Like, I do other
You could
things.
sound like a radio
Yeah.
voice. Amazing. And also, I think our next episode would be the 100th one.
Oh my God! We made 100 of these.
We've made 100 of them.
Thank you
Now
all
we've
so
made
much
99.
for enduring with us.
for hanging out, not getting tired of our stuff.
Doing 100 episodes. That's an achievement.
We'll,
Give yourself a pat on the back.
But when we get there, we'll try and do something fun.
Yeah. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Put that in the
Inshallah.
contract. We can't
Put
be
that in the
binding for
contract.
this. That's all the Habibis we have for you this week. Join us sometime else, inshallah, for more Habibis. But for the time being, salam.
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 That was the Habibis podcast for this week. I am Fawzi Masmar, your host for this episode. You can find me on Twitter at Fawzi Masmar. My fellow Habibis were Osama Dorias, who you can find on Twitter at Osama Dorias, and Rami Ismail, who you can find on Twitter at THA_Rami. Send us your questions, stories, and suggestions via info@thehabibis.com. Intro and outro music was provided by Malik Zubayla, and the logo was provided by Ibrahim Handi. The Habibis is a weekly podcast about 3 game developers drinking good Arab tea, with new episodes launching every Friday, inshallah. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe to your favorite podcasting service, or check out thehabibis.com for more information. Thank you for listening. Salam.